Well, there's a new ATF proposed rule coming, more tyranny from the Joe Biden administration, and this one has to do with the made-up background check loophole. All right, guys, ever since Obama was in office, the anti-gunners have been trying to force all sales of firearms through federally licensed firearms dealers. Now, to some people, that would sound like, yeah, no kidding, right? And why isn't it done already? Well, there's a thing called rights. Like, we've already gone through, if I have this item and I've done a background check for it, which the background check is illegal and unconstitutional, and person B wants to purchase this, as long as they're not a prohibited person, I can sell my privately owned property. A lot of states allow that. A few states don't. But what the ATF now has been ordered to do is to come up with a new rule forcing that through FFLs. And how are they going to do that? Well, there's a plethora of things I'm going to tell you. An article came out today from the New York Times that they're saying they've leaked some information, but this information has been known for years. They've been trying this for years, but now we're going to see a final rule on it for the second half of 2024 is what we're hearing. That's probably when it's going to go into effect, which would mean we should see the proposed rule in the next couple months. But GOA is putting out something on it today as well. And let's talk about what we already know about what is coming down the line. And this is right from GOA as well. I will link this for you. But we already know that universal background checks, especially when implemented by an executive order, it's a blatant infringement with no basis in text or history of the Second Amendment. And like I mentioned, the New York Times is leaking a majority of what is already publicly available, so they're not leaking anything. Like I said, we've known this for years, but they're stating that the proposal is expected to be released soon with a final rule to be published in the second half of 2024. Now that obviously came from somebody who's feeding them the information inside the administration. Now the anti-gunners are rebranding private firearm sales as the gun seller loophole and the growing digital loophole to justify executive action rather than the passage of a new law. And even Senator Blumenthal is saying that the gun show loopholes, that's an old passé idea. They want these online sales nixed. If you fall into some of the things I'm about to tell you, and you fail to register as an FFL, you'll be gigged with up to 5 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine. And anybody, this is the big part, check this out. Expect that anyone who makes a profit, perhaps as little as $1, to be prohibited from selling their privately owned firearms without a federal firearms license or background check. Now, what does that mean for most people? Some people don't understand what that means. Every gun channel on YouTube would fall into this if they were to sell their items. Now, most of the guys and gals on here that are shooting guns and reviewing guns for a living, they're FFLs already, but not all of them are. So if you make $1 of revenue off of a firearm, whether it's ad revenue, if YouTube gives you $1 for that ad, for putting an ad on your video, and you look to sell that gun, you're going to need to be an FFL now, or transfer it through an FFL and have a background check. So this is going to affect a lot of people. They're going, like I said, they're going after gun broker and arms list. They want the online sales destroyed. And they're doing this because there were 2 cases looking to bankrupt arms list and make it go away. But those cases were dismissed because arms list isn't selling guns. They're not an FFL. They're just a marketplace. And the people who are selling guns, they're the ones doing it. It's arms list just has like the store front or the community room, and people come and rent the community room to do community activities. Kind of a roundabout way. Now here's another concerning issue about this upcoming rule. Expect a maximum number of firearms sales that a private citizen may engage in per year without needing to be a federal firearms licensee. Now, I've seen a couple numbers thrown out there. I've seen under 5 is what the anti-gunners want, but I've also seen some people in Congress over the last couple of years mention 3 or 4. So what your Congress, who's supposed to uphold the United States Constitution and make sure we remain the bastion of liberty on this rock, on this earth. What they're saying is, even though you have things lawfully and legally, you're only going to be able to sell 3 of your own items, or 4, or 5, whatever number they come up with, before we demand you become a federal firearms licensee. Give us money. We need to license you and track you, and you need to keep your records forever. And we're going to take all of these 4473s, give them to the ATF. They're going to scan them in and make a searchable database. We already know that's happening because GOA got that from a FOIA request from ATF. So they're making more people go through FFLs, thus more 4473s, thus more people in the gun registry, the illegal gun registry that we know they have. Now, with this rule will come an increased, renewed pressure to prosecute anyone who refuses to register as an FFL. And me thinking this is another way they're going to go after folks like Polymer 80, JSD, and the like. They're going to try to force them to become FFLs again. And if individuals or businesses refuse to do it, well, they're going to jam you up. 5 years in prison, $250,000 fine, and they're going to use communist ways to double check on you. You might not even be accused of a crime, but they're going to be checking things like your bank records, your storage unit leases, and any other ways that people would use to run an off-the-books gun business. And we know that the ATF has already used companies like stamps.com and the like to see who's sending what where, trying to get information on the sellers, trying to build a case against people. Yeah, if you're innocent until proven guilty, you're innocent until proven guilty. But yeah, welcome to America. So I wanted to give you the heads up because you're probably going to see people starting to talk about this ad nauseum now. But we've known about this for a couple years. The ATF has been talking about this. Biden has been talking about this. And how did this come to fruition? Well, they're using that thing that the so-called Republicans in the Senate, the rhinos, the ones they sold us out on, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Yeah, this is working hand in hand with Joe Biden's executive order that he put out in March. And the first item was forcing all sales to go through a background check and universal background checks. And here comes the new ATF proposed rule. I will get you all the information as soon as it comes out, when the rule drops, what's actually in it, what's not, and what we need to do in the meantime. And all I ask for you is to subscribe to this channel down below so you stay in the know. Please like the video and share it. It helps YouTube, it shows YouTube and the algorithm that more people want to know this information. Thus, it might actually show it to some people. And that would really help the channel going forward. And I really, really appreciate you. Till we see each other again, y'all. It's just never going to end. We can never, ever lighten up. We have to remain vigilant because they're coming. And we're ready. All right, guys. Till we see each other again, have a great day. Take care.